Joining us here now at the Canadian Science Policy Conference is Dag Falck. And Dag, you're with Nature's Paths Foods. And it's all about organics when it comes to your company.
That's right.
And so tell us a little bit about why you decided that this is an important conference for you to come to.
Well, we think it's a real opportunity to be invited here. And this is one of the first times that the organic sector perspective is being invited to participate in this larger conversation of innovation. So we're very excited to be here and share our perspective.
What is it that you bring to this conference then?
Well, we do have a different perspective in many cases than when we talk about innovation. We are not anti-science. We are pro-science, but we are very concerned about the safety of science, and we have a stricter way of looking at the way of achieving the safety. So we tend to have more testing required and a different perspective just on looking at how we arrive at what's the best way to go forward.
So when it comes to policy, while there are regulations in place, there doesn't seem to be an overall policy when it comes to science and food, energy, and those sorts of things here in Canada. If you were to devise a policy, might it be stricter than what the average politician or industry would be looking at?
I think it would be more, we certainly would be stricter in many aspects of it. Yeah. So we feel like the technology that we are somewhat concerned with, genetic engineering, as you probably know, organic doesn't allow pesticides or herbicides or chemical fertilizers or GMO or genetic engineering. So those are prohibited substances in our practice. So these are things that we have to protect ourselves from. And it becomes difficult for us to protect ourselves sometimes because the regulation of it has kind of allowed it to be existing in a space that we share. And so there's no regulation that keeps us safeguarded from that, the possibility of that crossing that line and coming into our products where it's not allowed.
Okay.
So we are interested in having more regulation to help and protect our industry, which is the fastest growing segment of food in North America.
To help protect your industry, this is to give the average Canadian or person another option, I guess.
Yeah, so that consumers can rest assured that they have an option, if they so desire, to buy organic food that is not containing substances that they're expected to be free of.
Now, when it comes to genetically modified foods, what is your concern with that?
The organic standard basically spells out very, very clearly a clear definition of what genetic engineering means in the organic context and what needs to be kept out. And the main concerns with the science is that it hasn't been tested to the degree that we feel it needs to be. There has been testing involved, but the testing is usually done or always done by the applicant for the
so the company did.
The company.
Makes,
so we feel like it needs to be tested by a third party, independent, a party, and also by the government scientists themselves, which the government does not at this point actually test anything. They just take the test results or the evidence from the applicant. We feel like this is not a rigorous regulation. And so our concern with the science, you can get down to the specifics, of course, but in a generic term or general term, organic is built on the principles of mimicking nature, looking to nature for solutions and how nature is achieving fertility in soil, for instance. And we mimic those systems. And conventional agriculture, and specifically biotech, it tends to consider nature to be deficient and to fix nature. That's
or eradicate.
Or sometimes eradicate.
Yes.
And so that's where the difference lies. So we have a different outlook. So right from the start, we don't see that it's possible to achieve an organic GMO because the principle of what we're looking for, the whole objective of genetic engineering is outside of the systems that we would accept.
So if it was to come to a general food policy, do you think it's something that a government should be looking at to tell people what to eat or to just make people aware of what they're eating?
No, I don't think the government should be telling people what to eat or what not to eat, but I think that every consumer has the right to know so they can make choices. And at this point, there is no mandatory labeling for products that contain GMOs. And we feel like that's a basic right, like duh. Everybody should know, be able to go. You can go to the store and you can see if it's got fat or sugar or any of those things, and neither of those are going to kill you. So it's not about safety. It's about choice. So we feel like products should be labeled, and then if it's a great technology, and we're not saying people shouldn't believe that it is. If it is, it is. You know, everyone's free to make up their own mind about that. Then you can choose it, and you should be able to find it on a package and say, this is the kind of technology I want to support, and I like my food being grown this way. But you should, on the other hand, be able to say, well, this is not something that I believe in yet, or for whatever reasons, and I should have the choice to choose to stay away from that.
It's interesting because the companies involved will, and because the battle's being fought in the States right now over this, they say that if you put genetically modified labels on food, it's akin, which is interesting, it's akin to like a label on a cigarette package. You know, they're afraid that people will look at it like that.
Except that's surprising from our perspective, because if enough testing has been, you know, as the claim is always made that this is more tested than any other science and so on. If that's true, if this is truly a good advancement in science and technology, then why not proudly put it on the package, new and improved? You know,
I think we see new and improved too many times, but
well, you know,
yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And so the hesitation and the idea that this would be conceived as a or perceived by consumers as a warning, that tells us that there's something wrong here. Like, why do we even go there? Why don't we assume that the consumers are going to, you know, those consumers who are probably not organic consumers but mainstream consumers, why would they not be welcoming this with open arms? Mm-hmm. So this is confusing us. Why is there such a fear to label a technology that is proudly being put forward as very safe? Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's some distrust from our end, of course, around this.
You, when it comes to labeling, as far as a policy goes, would you like them to just say that this is genetically modified? Like, that's all you would need? Because I'm guessing there's more involved, you know, as far as a label could go with something.
No, we don't want, we're not asking for a label that says this is dangerous or you should avoid this.
But I mean, like even listing all the ingredients.
Yeah,
you know.
No, we just as an ingredient is listed, we would like a label to contain, you know, to have a statement saying this product contains products from genetic engineering.
Okay.
For instance, in a multi-ingredient product, it might be the soy or the corn meal might be the only ingredient out of hundreds or several ingredients. So we want that to be labeled.
Okay.
Yeah, so that consumers can see if you're buying a corn chip and which has mostly corn, you know, 90% corn or something like that, and if it's genetically engineered, that may to an organic consumer that may be of more concern than a product that has a little bit of soy meal, you know, as the 10th ingredient or something like that that's genetically engineered. So if the ingredient is listed as may contain or does contain, then we would be very satisfied.
As far as policy goes, that would work for
you.
When it comes to a conference like this, it's your first one.
Yes.
What are you expecting to leave here with?
My objective today really is when I give my talk is to keep the dialogue open and to not, you know, because our perspective is so different, we don't want to come across as you know, impossible to deal with. I think we welcome the opportunity to start a dialogue, and so we want to keep the dialogue open. And at the same time, my second priority is or objective is to state the positions of the organic industry in perspective, so that it's clear where we stand, and so we can start the conversation in a meaningful and real way.
And you expect a conference like this is the place to do it?
That remains to be seen. Yeah, we'll see.
Wonderful.
I hope so.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
We've been chatting with Dag Falck with the Nature's Path Food.